Today I'm speaking with Latifa. She's 21 years old and lives in the Netherlands. I know her through the movie White Berry, which I saw last week. Latifa plays the main character Grace. Hi Latifa, it's very nice to meet you. How are you doing? Could you briefly introduce yourself?
So, you already did a good job. So, my name is Latifa Mwazi, and I'm 20 years old. I live in The Hague in the Netherlands. And yes, I did play in a movie, and it's called Whiteberry.
Um, can you tell a little bit more about the movie?
I'm not trying to give any spoilers, but it's about a girl, Grace. She has albinism. She is 17 years old, and she lives in Rotterdam with her mom and her brother. But she was born in Burundi, but she came to the Netherlands because it was safer here instead of Burundi, because there were albino hunters and they wanted to get to her, so they left Burundi. And in the movie, she struggles with accepting herself and loving herself, and she doesn't really know where she should put herself in. So she's still finding herself. That's the movie about most of the parts. But she also loves to dance, and she will meet a couple girls, and then they will have a whole adventure, and a lot of things will happen with her brother and the girls, and they will eventually train for a dance competition, and you will see that at the end. So that's most of the part of what the movie is about.
Does Grace and your story match?
No, it doesn't match. They did. It wasn't based on my life story. It was, they just took a couple parts of my life, but it's not. Um, Grace is a totally different person, totally different life than I had. Of course, a couple similar, but not. It wasn't based on my story. They just took a couple things.
What's the major difference between you and Grace?
I'm not so rebels. Grace is kind of rebels. I'm not like that. I would never just leave without telling my mother or brother, or just do something crazy. So I think that.
In the interview, I also read that you have a brother and he looks very similar to the movie character. What's the important message your brother was giving to you? In the movie, it was accepting who you are and more like stand up for yourself. He was very overprotective, but he also tried to give her life advice and give her the opportunity to go to college, for example. How does your brother help you in daily life, in real life?
If it's actually the same, I would say that Samuel, the brother in the movie, is the same as my brother. If I think that Samuel is like a great description for my brother, because my brother is really like Samuel. That's him, overprotective, supportive, wants me to stand up for myself, accept myself.
Yeah, the movie was also a lot about acceptance, and in the first half of the movie, we met Grace in daily life and what she did in school. Do you use your own experience when you were acting, when you were playing the role of Grace?
Of course, then I can really be in the character if I use my own experience in the role. So yes, of course I did. Yes.
I saw that Grace was using all kinds of things. For example, books with bigger letters. How do you read books?
I do have a pair of glasses, but they only help 16% because of my nystagmus. My eyes, they keep wiggling and everything.
Ah,
But
your
I do have
wobbly
a pair
eyes.
of, yeah, my lovely eyes. So I do have glasses, but doesn't really help that much. But it does make me less tired. And yeah, when I read a book, I didn't have glasses for a long time, so I just use my eyes, and then yeah, then I would just take the book up close and look and then read. So yeah, I always had like kind of struggle with reading. It takes me longer to read, but I never wanted it to limit myself, or maybe because I didn't want it to feel more different, I think.
Do you think it was also very hard with your, for example, your school, with your studies, not able to read as fast as your peers?
Yes, that really irritated me. I really dislike that because it's just, I'm always the last one to leave the classroom, always the last one to finish the test somehow. Yeah, it just takes longer for me to read, and also if I have exams or something, I really need to learn in advance because I cannot keep reading. I cannot read the whole time. My eyes just will get tired. I will get tired. My energy will go low. So my eyes is something that if I could change, I would have changed it. But unfortunately, I was born with it.
In my opinion, I think you should not change, but I think the system, the school system, should change because I also experienced that when everyone was out of class, I was still sitting in that classroom reading, and in the time they relaxed and they talked to each other, my classmates talked to each other, I was just sitting in that room and learning, and then I cannot actually connect with my peers. I don't know if you have that same feeling that you cannot connect.
Yeah. Yes. I totally understand. Yes. I did feel the same thing.
Did you feel also left out?
Yes, I think I did because I really didn't. It didn't feel good when I was the last one to finish or to still be in the classroom, and yeah, it just didn't feel good. So I think I felt left out.
In the movie, Grace was bullied. Did you experience that same, the same experience?
I wasn't really bullied for a long time or severe. I think there was a period. Um, I was like 8 years old, I think, maybe, or younger. I'm not sure. But I had two bullies in my street, and they were twins. They twin brothers, and yeah, they just used to harass me and bully me, and so that was the only time that I got bullied. After that, yeah, there were always people with comments, like ugly comments, ugly things to say, but I like bullied, not only it was a short time in my life that I was bullied.
So did you also, with those boys, did you also experience discrimination?
It was a long time, so I can't remember what they used to say, but I think I was discriminated because of my appearance, obviously. I think, but I don't know, and I don't know anymore what they said and used to say. Or I know that they used to like hit me or try to intimidate me.
Well, that you think that albinism, that a part of albinism is actually discrimination, and that how do you experience that by talking about albinism, by talking more about discrimination in relation to albinism?
I think if you use the word albino in Dutch, then it could come off a little bit, yeah, as discrimination, because I'm not an albino. I'm a person that has albinism. Discrimination, yeah, it could be a part, kind of, because people will always look at you like, yeah, I encountered that in my model work. I always get booked for the similar shoots. It could be a part, but I don't want it to be a part. If I don't want to say it's a part because I don't feel like it's a part, but I do think that people are making it like part of discrimination.
Do you also experience racism?
No, not like my brother, not like my mother, because they are darker than me. My mother's brown skin, my brother is dark skin. So I don't really experience racism because I think people look at me, they don't see like someone with a dark skin, and most of the people don't even think that most of the people think I'm Latina or I'm mixed, or they don't really look at me like a black person, I think, and I think that's why they don't.
How does it feel that your brother and your mother are getting racist comments and that you do not get racist comments?
I think for myself, it's kind of a privilege to not experience that, because I don't think anyone wants to experience racism. And yeah, it's really hurtful to see receiving racism, because I don't understand, why would you be racist? So it really hurts me when other people are being racist towards Black people or Arabic people or Hispanic people, anyone.
I do not know a lot about the African continent and in between those persons, but I saw that Grace in the movie was experiencing racism because of her color. Was it hard for your mother to explain what albinism was? Did they accept you, or is that the reason why you fled your country?
I lived in Congo only for, I'm Congolese. I did Republic Democratic of Congo. I only lived there for a couple months, so I didn't live there for years. So I didn't. I would not know if they would have accepted me. I do know where I'm from, Goma. They are familiar with people with albinism, because that's the part of Congo where most of the albinism are born. I think it would have been harder in Africa than here, because there you only see Black people. You only see people that are, dark skin tones, and so when they see someone with a light skin tone, white skin tone, yeah, I think that it would have been harder. I think I would have been more bullied. That's what my mom said. So I think here in the Netherlands, most of the people are white. I don't look so different, but when you see my face, obviously you can see that I'm not Caucasian. So yeah, I'm not sure. I think they would have accepted me, but I think it also would need time.
It's also very hard because when I look at myself, people say like, or when people look at me, they say, "Oh, you are Dutch." Well, I'm full Chinese, and it's still. Do you experience that same feeling that people say like, "Oh, you are Dutch then," or "What are you?" And then most of the times they ask it not to you, but to, for example, my sister or my mother. How did you experience that?
I never had that anyone asking my brother or mother. But I always know when I meet new people that they will ask that question, where am I from? What's my ethnicity? Because they are curious, because they can't really put me in a box, or they just don't know, they are confused. Because I got African features, but my skin is light. So what am I? Most of the time people think I'm Latina. I'm like Hispanic or something, but I'm like Dominican. I'm not. Or mixed. They think I'm mixed.
It's maybe a difficult question to ask, but do you feel yourself being black or being white?
I feel myself as Black African, actually. It's my skin, but um, in the Black culture, Black people have different shades. So I feel Black. I don't feel white. My identity, and you can see in my features, not my face features, but also like my body. I really have an African shape. So overall I feel Black.
So because of your albinism, you look white, but you are black.
Yes. I think albinism is just a part of me, I think, instead of my whole identity. I think that's why I feel Black, maybe.
So you do not think albinism is a part of your identity?
No, it is a part of my identity, but not my whole identity. I think it's a part of my identity.
Yeah, like for example, with me, I'm a female, I'm Chinese. But what do you think we can do against discrimination and racism?
Well, I think that's hard. Racism has been in the world for so long. I'm not sure. All I could say, I think racism, discrimination will always be present, unfortunately. But what we can do is stand up for ourselves. And um, what you see in Black people, that they will, if they are looking for work, then they will see that they pick white people instead of them. They prefer white people, or we should build our own companies, our own whatever. We should be our own entrepreneurs instead of leaning on the white man or depending on. So I think we should look at the future and make our future better for ourselves instead of only looking at the racism and the racist and just try to build us up.
Yeah, I think little steps also help with defeating discrimination. For example, you are speaking about persons with albinism instead of albinos. Why do you think that is so important? Because I use the term person with albinism myself very often, but why do you think it's important?
Because a person with albinism is not, if you say albino, they are not, that's not who they are completely. That's just what they have, albinism. Because when somebody has like autism, you don't say the autist or they just have autism. That's what they have, but that's not who they are totally.
Some persons with albinism refer to themselves as albino. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think we cannot force anyone to anybody could say what they want, how they want, but I think they should know the reason behind saying albinism instead of albino, and maybe that will inspire them to change the narrative. I want to have an opinion, but I don't want to force anyone, or they can do what they want. So I do think that they should. I think albinism is a better choice. So we can only educate people. So I would say that.
So you are very much on educating persons about albinism. How do you educate persons with albinism or persons who do not have albinism on albinism?
I haven't encountered many people with albinism, and when I do meet someone with albinism, it's I automatically think that they know everything. So we are kind of we experience kind of the same thing. So I don't think that I have to educate them about a lot of things, but other people ask me. Some people know a little bit about it, but some people ask me for how did it happen? How did I come out like this? And then it will just explain. I don't. When people meet me, they don't really ask much about my albinism. I think they don't really want to, or scared of my reaction, or maybe they think it's hurtful for me, or so. So I haven't really educated anyone, really.
Well, I think you did that through the movie, that you educated persons.
Oh yes, I did.
Yeah, so I'm very happy actually that you made that movie. Although it was sometimes very sad, it was also very good to educate and just see little things like struggling with big books, or not finding the right way. It was very clarifying in a way that persons with albinism face that in daily life, because I think it's very typical to see that in daily life. Where can you watch the movie? Is it also in other languages?
We do have it in theaters in Holland, all over the country. Um, so yeah, you can just look it up, White Berry, in the theaters, and then you will see where you can in which city you can see the movie. But hopefully in the future you can see it with also other languages in the subscription.
Thank you very much for joining this podcast. I have a lot more questions to ask, but the video is gonna be the podcast is gonna be too long. So thank you very much for your time. Also, thank you to our listeners for their time. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask via the comment section down below. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.